Okay, so now that we've done volume of rectangular prisms, we're also going to do volume of triangular prisms. The formula is different, so make sure that you have your formula sheet out with you so that we can fill that out as well. Alright, so your goal for this lesson is I can determine the volume of triangular prisms. Now remember that triangular prisms are going to have two triangle bases, and then they're going to have, so here let me draw it, two triangle bases, and then the other shapes that make it up are going to be rectangles. Alright, so just to review, what is volume? Volume is the amount of space that a three-dimensional object takes up. So if I had a cup and I filled it with water, the amount of water that I could fit in the cup is going to be the volume. Okay, so go ahead and take out your formula sheet and let's look at the volume for a triangular prism. Now, it's a little bit different than the volume for a rectangular prism. So the volume is big B times H. Now, there's a reason why this B is capitalized, because if it was lowercase, like for example, for area of a rectangle, we have area equals B times H, base times height. But this B, because it's capitalized, it actually means the area of the base. Okay, so we know that with a triangular prism, the base is one of the two triangles, and it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, so this big B actually stands for the area of this whole base. So we write the formula like this, but we can also write the formula like this. Okay, because the base is a triangle, we know that the area is base times height times 0.5, or if you like to divide by 2, that's fine, times the height of the entire prism. Okay, so if I were you on your sheet, I would write the formula both ways so that you know that this big B stands for the area of the base and not just one of the dimensions. Now for your example on your formula sheet, I want you to draw example number 1 that we're going to get ready to do here. Okay, so example number 1, find the volume. We always start off by writing the formula. So volume equals capital B times the height. Okay, so we have two lines here. The first one is going to be our capital B. So our capital B is going to be the area of the base here. Now, we have 8 times 10 times 0.5. Okay, and when you put that in your calculator, you're going to get 40 times the height of the entire prism. So how tall is it? It's 13 meters. So you have 40 times 13, which is going to be 520, and then our units, meters cubed. Now the reason why we have meters cubed is because if you look at the entire formula, when you're finding the area of the base here, it would be meters squared, right here, meters squared, and then the height is just meters. So meters squared times meters is going to be meters cubed, because there's 2 here and then there's an invisible 1 there. Okay, let's look at example number 2. So find the volume of the triangular prism. So our formula is volume equals big B times H. So over here I'm going to need my triangle base, which is this right here. So the base is 4. The height of that triangle is 3.5, and then times 0.5. So when I calculate 4 times 3.5 times 0.5, I'm going to get 7. and then my height of the entire prism is 7. So, I'm going to put my units. My whole volume, 7 times 7 is 49. Meters squared times meters is meters cubed. Okay? Okay, you go ahead and try this one, and I will write it as well. Alright, pause the video if you're not done. If you are done, you should have your formula is volume equals capital B times the height. So the base, the area of the base here is going to be 7 times 8 times 0.5, or divided by 2 if you do that. Either way, you should get 28 yards squared, and then multiply that times the height of the entire prism, which is 10, and you should get 280 yards to the third power. Okay, go ahead and try the next one as well. Alright, pause the video if you're not done so that you can finish. Alright, so the formula is volume equals capital B times the height. So our base, the area of our triangle base, is 8 times 3 times 0.5, which should give us 12 centimeters squared. And then the height of the entire prism is 12 centimeters. So 12 times 12 is 144. Centimeters squared times centimeters is centimeters cubed. Alright, now we have, we're going to get a little bit harder. So if you were struggling with the last couple of ones, go back and rework them until you're confident with them. Because now what's going to happen is I'm going to give you the volume, but I'm going to take away one of the dimensions. Okay? So here we have a triangular prism. Okay? Here's my triangle base right here. Okay, and it gives me the base and the height of the triangle, so I'll be able to find the big B, but I don't know the height. However, I do know what the volume is. Okay, so we're going to start with our formula. Volume equals big B times H. Okay, now what I did is I kind of expanded it out here, and that's good to do when you have a missing dimension, just like I did. I wrote the 2 different formulas for your formula sheet just a couple slides ago so that you can actually insert all the different values. So what do we know? Well, we know that the volume is 12, okay, and instead of 1/2, I'm going to use my 0.5. We know that the base of the triangle is 0.3. We know that the height of the triangle is 1. But we don't know the height of the entire shape, okay? So we have 12 equals 0.5 times 0.3 times 1 times h. We need to start to simplify. You need to multiply 0.5 times 0.3 times 1. When you do that, you're going to get 12 equals 0.15h. From here, it's very simple. You just have a one-step equation. You're going to box the variable and divide both sides by 0.15. This is going to cancel out, and you should get h equals 80. And because it's a missing dimension, it's just one part of the shape, it's going to be just centimeters. It's not going to be squared or cubed. Okay? Let's look at another one of these examples. All right. So here again, we have a triangular prism. Okay? Now you'll notice that there's no centimeters, inches, or feet, so we just use units. Okay? So here we have our triangle base. And it gives us the base of the triangle, the height of the triangle, okay? So we're good to go for our big B, but we are missing the height of the overall prism. So how do we set this up? We start with our formula. Volume equals big B times H. And then I have my expanded version here, okay? And what I'm going to do is kind of fill this out. So my volume is 2,352 equals, I like to use 0.5. The base of the triangle is going to be 24. The height is 7. And I do not know the height of the entire shape, of the entire prism, so I have H. Now I need to simplify. 0.5 times 24 times 7. And I'm going to get 2,352 equals 84H. Okay? From here, very simple, it's a one-step equation. I box my variable, I divide by 84 on both sides, this will cancel, and I'm left with H equals 28, and because it's just a missing dimension, it's just going to be centimeters. Alright, you try this one here for the missing dimension, and I will work on it as well. Remember to always start off with your formula and expand that formula out. Alright, go ahead and pause the video if you're not done so that you can finish. If you are finished, let's talk about it. So we have volume equals base times height, big B times H. And then I expanded out my formula. So I have volume equals 0.5 times the base and the height of the triangle here, times the height of the entire shape. So 1,080 equals 0.5 times 12, which is the base of the triangle, times 10, which is the height of the triangle, times H, which is the height of the entire prism, which I don't know. When I simplify all of this, I get 1,080 equals 60H. I box my variable, divide by 60 on both sides, and I'm left with the height equals 18 centimeters, and it's just centimeters because it's just a missing dimension. Okay, you go ahead and try this one as well. Alright, go ahead and pause your video if you're not done. So if you are done, let's talk about it. So we have here our formula. Volume equals capital B times the height of the shape. Now notice I didn't give you a picture here. If you want, you can draw a picture. If not, it gives you all the information you need. When I expanded out the formula, I got 55, which is the volume, equals 0.5 times 2 times 5, which is the base and the height of the triangle, times h, because I don't know the height of the entire shape. When I simplified, I got 55 equals 5h, box my variable, and divide by 5 on both sides, and I get that the height of the entire prism is 11 kilometers. Okay, I do have a challenge problem here. I'm not going to actually go over it in the video because I'm going to let you read through it and submit it for extra credit. If you would like, just please give it to me by the end of the week. I will read the problem though, just to clarify anything. Gary is painting a decorative box with the dimensions shown over here. So these are the dimensions of the box. A can of paint covers about 25 square feet. Does he have enough paint, does he have enough to paint the rectangular faces of his box with 3 coats of paint? So he only wants to paint the rectangular parts of this. Okay, so does he have enough paint to paint it with 3 coats of paint? So yes or no, and then you need to justify your answer, and you can do that by showing all of your work. Okay, and then you can submit it to me at any time this week for extra credit. All right, that is the end of this video. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions, rewind if you need to, review, and we will practice some more in class.